The Young and the Restless. Today, Jack extends an invitation to Diane to move in. Victoria and Nate recap their brainstorming session, and Tessa appeals for help. Jack tells Diane at the Abbott residence that he appreciates their breakfast together, but must leave for work. She may leave her clothing there, he says, and they won't draw attention to themselves from Kyle. He kisses her and tells her to gather her stuff. Sally finishes her phone call in her suite and schedules the paternity test for that afternoon. She hangs up and tells herself, "I will contact Adam when I see if Nick is available." When Chloe shows there, Sally tells her that she suggested to Nick that he might be the father of the baby. He had a gentle demeanor and was quite sympathetic. She is afraid he is just playing it safe in case the kid is his and will abandon them if it turns out to be Adam's. Chloe warns her to completely rule out the possibility that the baby is Adam's. Sally believes it would dramatically alter the situation. Chloe is confident Nick won't abandon them. Sally can no longer handle it. "The DNA lab was my next call. This afternoon will be the paternity test. Both Nick and Adam will need to be swabbed." Victoria had a flashback to when she was kissing Nate at Newman Enterprises. Nick suddenly shows up and says he's sorry he startled her. Victoria claims she was just thinking about the idea she and Nate came up with last night to acquire Daniel's gaming platform and eventually take over Tucker's business. Nick isn't certain that McCall will give up easily. Victoria reflects that a worthwhile conquest never comes without effort. Victoria has observed Nick's lack of focus today. As far as Nick is concerned, it is none of her business. Victoria is perplexed as to why he would want to spend time with someone who drives such a wedge between him and his family. The very fact that he is unable to discuss the situation suggests that something is wrong. Nick pulls an expression. Neither she nor his father will hear about this from him. There are no rules on talking to Sally. During a reflective moment in his apartment, Nate thinks back to the time he kissed Victoria. Elena enters and inquires as to how everything is going. A kiss later, he's taking her to bed. Nate tells Elena he needs to hurry to work after they had sex. Elena teases that they could have spent more time together performing his favorite activities if he hadn't been in such a hurry. Nate assures his girlfriend of a weekend away together. They share a passionate kiss, after which he leaves. The speed at which glaciers are melting has been demonstrated by recent heat waves. When Tessa knocks on Elena's door, she opens it and welcomes her inside, telling her that there is always time for a friend. "How are Mariah and the baby doing?" she inquires. At the ranch, Victor is awestruck by the appearance of Jack Abbott and wonders if he should conceal the silver in light of Abbott's newfound thievery. Jack has come to give a stern warning. As far as Victor is concerned, he has a lot of nerve and might easily be reported to the police. Jack is now aware of Victor and Kyle's plan to remove Adam from Jabot. "I'm sorry for your loss of a son, but I won't let you exploit mine in your deceitful scheme." Victor, amused, tells Jack that he has no plans to undermine Adam, his son, who is handling things extremely well on his own, and that Adam doesn't belong at Jabot. In what type of a supervisory role does Jack find himself if he tolerates his employees slacking off? Jack observes that he appears to have special knowledge. He is instructed by Victor to return to Diane Jenkins, knowing well that Victor will take great pleasure in seeing their marriage disintegrate. Diane finishes up some last-minute packing in her suite and pauses to admire the framed portrait of herself, Jack, and Kyle before heading off. Chloe breaks the news to Sally that she cannot inform Adam about the pregnancy in Sally's suite. Doing so would be a bad idea. Sally disagrees and becomes overwhelmed by the ambiguity. Needs advice on how to approach Adam in conversation. Chloe tells her to take it easy and consider the implications. Sally insists that if he is indeed the father, it is her duty to break the news to him. Chloe feels she should conduct the test with Nick first, and if it's his, then she won't have to tell Adam, please God. Sally has some reservations about this strategy. Chloe claims that Adam will treat the possibility that he is the father as an open invitation if he finds out about it. It would be disastrous if she did anything to prompt Adam to waltz back into her life. Chloe leaves after Nick arrives. Nick thinks Sally is fortunate to have such a trustworthy buddy. They share a warm embrace. Tessa breaks the news to Elena in her apartment that despite their best efforts, they had a false alarm and Delphine is not yet in labor. She was greatly disturbed by it. It opened her eyes to the possibility of complications during delivery. I need to hear it from an expert. Can I do anything to make sure the baby is safe? Eleanor adores her maternal instincts. She says that they can just wait and be as prepared as possible to be good mothers. Elena also notes that there is little risk of complications with a full-term delivery. Tessa says she and Mariah are getting ready to move to Portland so Mariah can do remote work from there until the baby arrives. Elena has the impression that she is hiding something. Delphine has had 9 months to prepare for the birth and motherhood, but despite what Tessa says about Mariah, who has been pregnant before, she is not ready. Elena tells her it's okay to feel this way. You already possess every quality necessary to be a wonderful mother, so don't worry about that. Tessa has been a rock for Mariah when she was in a rut, and Mariah has witnessed how beautiful Tessa can be. She has proven her readiness by going there to protect her daughter. The tiny child will be raised by 2 wonderful women. Jack would like to believe that Victor is too busy at the ranch to give any thought to his private life. When Michael enters, Jack gives him a final warning not to meddle in Jabbat's business. That his son died is entirely his fault, and with that he storms away, leaving Michael to take a seat. When Victor hears that Tucker McCall hasn't heard from, he naturally wants to know if anything has changed. Michael has done some research and discovered that he is deeply in debt. Even if he buys it all out, he still won't have complete control. Victor is always up for a test. When Diane exits the hotel's elevator, she runs headfirst into Tucker, who pokes fun at her by asking where she's going. Diane makes fun of him because Ashley ran away from him all the way to Genoa City. If Tucker is right, we can expect to see her again shortly. Diane's happiness, he assures her, is hers to give up. At the Abbott home, Diane is there to meet Jack. While he offers to ship for her belongings in Los Angeles, she insists they stay put. Jack assures her that the people who love them will eventually come around, and in the meantime they can canoodle and speak about how happy they are, to relax in his suite. Tucker leaves a voicemail for Ashley, indicating he wants to talk to her about their relationship. He hopes that by being completely forthright with her, she will see the logic behind his deception. If he were to visit Paris, would she be open to meeting him there? Victoria and Nate finally meet face to face at Newman Media, and it's a little uncomfortable for both of them. Nate hopes to set the record straight on the brainstorm. After all they had done, Victoria felt renewed energy. There should be more get-togethers like that, she says with a teasing grin. Victoria concurs, adding, on a completely professional basis, of course, which satisfies both Nate and Victoria. Nate agrees with this statement with a, of course. Michael and Victor are already waiting for them inside Victoria's office when they walk there. Isolating himself and his kid is a priority for Victor. While Nick is staying in Sally's suite, Sally checks in on him and asks how he is doing. He's always considering it, yet he's still with her as promised. Sally just doesn't get it. What if the child isn't biologically yours, she wonders. Are you still trying to figure out how I feel about you? Nick inquires. For telling him the truth, she has earned his utmost respect. They have agreed to determine the baby's paternity at a later date. Sally requested him to come right immediately since she couldn't take the suspense any longer and had already scheduled the paternity test for today. In the town of Crimson Lights, Adam halts Chloe. Despite her animosity, he cares deeply for Sally. The problem is obvious to me at this point. He is unwilling to be told that it concerns their joint business endeavor. Does EREXPERI, why are we doing this again? Chloe scoffs. The question is, and why are you interfering in Sally's life? She assures him that what Sally and Nick have is genuine. They have formed a strong bond. Adam presses her for definition of bound. Chloe deflects by mocking his sympathy handout of a job and questioning if he doesn't have anything else to focus over. Adam visits the Abbott residence, informing Jack that he must have a word with him. Diane disappears, and Jack is invited inside by Diane. Is everything all right? Before matters with Victor and Kyle became worse, Adam wanted to talk to him about his future with the organization. However, Adam has discovered that Kyle has been investigating his projects despite Jack's claims that Kyle has assured him he is not engaged. Jack appears pessimistic because he recently spoke with Victor, and Jack now knows that Victor's performance has dwindled because of that conversation. Adam is trying to make amends and fix things, but it's evident his son is lying to him. Nick, in Sally's room, is astonished that she planned the DNA analysis so quickly. Specifically, he wants to know if she's told Adam about it. Sally has decided not to tell Adam unless absolutely necessary after talking to Chloe. His DNA will be the first thing they examine. She has Nick's word on it, he says. Sally had asked him to tell her the truth. How would you feel if I told Adam he might be the father without first running a paternity test? Are you sure that's what you want? Nick prays that Adam will never find out. To put it simply, I'm trying to do the right thing. My support is unwavering whenever you feel ready to inform him. Sally tells him she appreciates him and invites him to accompany her to the testing facility. Perhaps we can finally put this matter to bed before it becomes any worse. Nick will find a way. Tessa visits Elena at her apartment and expresses her gratitude for Elena's confidence in her, adding that she hopes they'll be able to take her along for moral support on future adventures. It's been pointed out by Elena that they already have her contact info. Tessa observes Elena's joy. She is relieved that things have improved for her. Elena had her doubts that she and Nate would ever reconcile, but the two were making it work now. To say I'm content would be an understatement. You and I are. Victoria would want Nate to join her and her colleagues at Newman as they discuss Tucker and their proposed purchase of McCall Unlimited. Dad, I think we could all use his advice.